Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today we are gonna be building a pool area, a community pool. So basically, in this section right here that we're looking at, and everything that we're walking, we're gonna have stairs coming down. We're gonna take all of this out, and in here we're gonna build a pool, a complete pool with seating, umbrellas, the whole works. It's kind of like, you know, if you go to Google and you put community pools and you see the area and you see how they're laid out like that, that's what I want to make. So the whole time when I was building the boat docks, I was visualizing a pool right here because I wanted to take advantage that we had this little boardwalk on the very top that you can look down, and then we have stairs at the same time leading to here. Now in front, you see I'm building the sidewalk, so you see all that water in there. Eventually we're gonna have a road, we're gonna have another cul-de-sac that's gonna lead right there. We're gonna close a little bit of this water and we're gonna enclose it, and it's gonna lead down, because from here on we're gonna start heading back to the front of the island, to the beginnings of the coastal town. But that's gonna be a slow process. So right now we're just gonna be building from the sidewalk going towards the back. We're gonna be building the pool, and we're gonna be building the whole pool area. So one of the inspiration to approach the pool area was how I approached the volleyball court, right? So we have like a deck around there, or you can make cement. You can approach the pool area in different ways depending what kind of pool, what kind of aesthetics, what kind of materials, what's the look that you want to go with. So I did went this time with palm wood. I wanted more like a deck vibe pool, because at the same time this is very coastal, very I like that type of look right now. So I went with the palm wood. Now if you are googling community pools and all that, most of them are full in cement. If you like that look, if you want to go with the cement look, if you're following along and you're still following along in the series, you're taking inspiration, you're building in the coastal town, yeah, go ahead and make a palm wood. But if you want to go cement is a good route. It's very easy, it will look all even, and especially if you're going for more of a very big community pool area. I want to make this aesthetic, I want to make it fit the coastal town and the areas that we have been building. So the areas that we've been building are big, but they're not too big, and they're not small, and so it's kind of like in between. So I approach this kind of in the same idea, that I don't want it to be a humongous pool area. I just want it to be a good size that fits with the rest of the coastal town. So now I'm building right here, I'm doing the kind of the same thing we did with the volleyball court, is doing a little pattern of kind of to break up at the very end. That way we have some greenery, some palm trees, some bush, and this you can also do it whichever way you want to approach it. If you're making it somewhere else, you want to use some other type of trees, you want to use some other type of plants. When it comes to the planting and any of the plants, any of the trees, go ahead and use what you like, right? So okay, so we're finishing here. I was trying to decide how much I wanted to go in there. So I decided just to make it very simple, kind of like a little L shape. It just kind of to break it out. So then we're gonna put a fence on top of the cement sidewalk, right? We're gonna close it out with a cement. So I'm still trying to decide how wide do I want the deck to be before the pool is gonna be in the middle. So I decided to go with a 3. I was measuring with the motorbike to make sure like that way it feels big. That way I feel like I have more of when I start putting the seating and the chair. I didn't want, when I put the seating and the chair, don't have enough to walk by with. So I went with 3 tiles. So 3 tiles in every direction, and that kind of reminds me a lot of the volleyball court that we did. And it's kind of the same kind of aesthetic, right? The volleyball court, I believe was maybe a little bit bigger at the very end. But the pool, I didn't want it to be this humongous pool. I just wanted it to be a good size that looks good, and I wanted to fit in this little area that I just had, and especially so we can view it from the very top of the little boardwalk that we have on the very top right there. Okay, so right here I decided now how far I wanted to go. And now that I knew how far I needed to go for the pool, I knew I needed to clear this out because we're gonna wrap around the whole deck with another 3 tiles. And also at the same time, we're gonna have another entrances. So I wanted this pool area to have 3 different entrances. We got one that's gonna come from the road. We got the one that we see right now coming from the stairs, and then we're gonna have another entrance from the back. So we have multiple entryways to get in this pool that is also at the same time very different, very unique, and it kind of feels like we in this town we have different ways to keep walking, and that's always been my goal, is to have multiple ways to get into a build, to get into an area, to have multiple ways to view the area. So before I kept going, I wanted to see how much of the greenery I also wanted to go. So I kind of, if you remember the previous cul-de-sac build that we did on the very top, you know, I had a little struggle with a little bit of the placement of the tiles. So before I went ahead, I kind of already scooped the 4 tile to make sure that I had the beginning of the top of the cul-de-sac already marked with the 4 of the cement tiles wide, because most of the roads right now in the coastal town I'm making it 4 wide, so I can work with double bridges and anything like that, so that way everything fits perfectly. So right now all my roads are 4 wides. So I wanted to went ahead and to make sure, so I went ahead, that's why you saw I extended that. Now we're gonna dig down on the pool, and this process is easy. You know, we all have seen it. There's multiple videos out there for pool builds, like how to make it. It's a very straightforward. I'm very blessed right now that my water, when I bring this in to fill it up, is very close. I got water very close, so I don't have to bring water from very far away to a specific area. That's another reason why I wanted the pool right here. It was just gonna work out really great. It was gonna be very simple to bring water in, and it works, right? It was kind of like a perfect location at the moment, and I was very inspired because the way everything looked with that water, I was like, man, if we make a pool area right here, and it's kind of like a pool and almost next to the ocean, and it's just kind of nice. It feels right. It feels nice. So I wanted to go with that. Okay, so right here, I'm trying to duplicate what I have on the other side. We're gonna duplicate it here. So I needed to know exactly where I wanted the light to be and how the L shape was gonna work, so I can put the palm trees and the rest of the greenery in the corner. And that's what we're working on. And the way I keep approaching this is just step by step, go back and forth, keep looking at it, and keep seeing what you want, and make sure what you're planting, the greenery that you want, and the location is good. That way we don't have to like repeat a lot, like what happened with my previous first volleyball court. It was just such I made it too tight, you know. So right now in this section, I got plenty of space. I got anything that I need. If I need to fill up a little of the water, I'm going ahead and doing that. And I'm just now locating all the locations. Everything is good. All the spaces is the way it's supposed to be. 3 on one side, 3 on the other, 3 on the other, and 3 on the back. And now slowly, the pool area is taking shape. And now we're gonna look at it. And then from here, I wanted to make sure, and I really wanted to make sure that the sides of the pool, I was gonna be happy, and that it was gonna work, it was gonna look good. And now that I see it, now that it's there, I'm happy. I like everything the way it's working, and so we're gonna just now keep moving forward with the build. Now that we have the pool exactly the way we want it, we're gonna go ahead and start clearing this out, because we're gonna have another set of stairs that's gonna come down all the way from the top of the boardwalk. It's gonna come down. We're gonna have a passageway, and it's gonna lead to the backside entrance of the pool. So that's what we're gonna be leveling this area down. It's just breaking all this down. And the good thing is, as we're working on this, another inspiration starting to hit, and I started to decide, you know what, down here we're gonna place a building. It could be either a residential home or an actual NPC characters building, and I haven't decided which route to go. As we're working on the build and putting it all together, we're gonna see what feels best. I don't know if I want to move my own house in Dinkum that is just located in a random place, just out of nowhere. I don't know if I actually want to put it back here, because it's gonna be really nice. I feel like it's gonna have the view of the beach, the ocean. We're gonna have this pool right here. It's close to the docks and all of that. So I don't know if I want to move my house there, or we're gonna end up moving an NPC character building and see what matches the aesthetic and who will be best to fit in this area. But before we start getting to that section, now we are trying to analyze and try to put the next greenery area on this other corner, because I want all the corners to match. The only corner that's not gonna have a greenery is the one that's coming down with the stairs on this side over here, right there, right when I went up. That's the only stairs that section corner that's not gonna have the greenery. Now if you're doing this build and you're making it somewhere else and it doesn't, and you don't have a stairs coming right into the build, then you can go ahead and duplicate that corner of the greenery, the palm trees, the bushes, the fern, or whichever way you want to decorate it with, and go ahead and put it all 4 corners. And the same thing with the fence. The fence is gonna go all around, and all around the pool area, kind of like dividing it and to make it like a different section. But the back end of the pool area, we're not gonna put a fence, because we have the whole concrete wall sitting right there, and that's kind of it's kind of like a fence already. So we're not gonna just put a fence right there. It's just I feel like it's a good look. So, and that's why you see me standing there. When I was in the stairs, I was just kind of thinking if I wanted to do something different, if I wanted to have a space. Do I need to move everything 1 tile more to the side, so then I have a little bit more of a gap between the wall, and have a gap, and then have the fence, and then maybe later on, like naturally, or maybe plant a lot of flowers or bush or something. But right now, and at this moment, I just decided, I want to keep it the way it is. Just keep it like that. It's kind of against the wall. It's kind of like all this build and the buildings are kind of connected to each other, and they're utilizing this wall to be like a complement to the next build, and kind of work together. And then as I was looking at that, I was thinking, okay, so now I got this corner here, and as you're coming down the stair, I kind of want to have this feel of like a little resort. When you Google in the pictures and you look at resort in the beach, and then you put the pool area, you see like it has this wonderful gardens, palm trees in the entrances, and the bushes, and maybe a fountain, and just kind of like this very cool looking. And then it's just like the patterns it's just very good that the way it's divided. So I was trying to replicate one that I was looking at, and like in both sides were kind of like, you see these palm trees, and then you got like flowers, and then you got this bush, and then flower, and then the palm trees were kind of scattering as the front of the garden just came forward. They were kind of scattered a little bit, like this one was in the corner, and then kind of going inside there was another one, and then a little more inside there was kind of another type of palm tree, and I like that look. So this is my approach on this one. That's why you see things a little more scattered, a little more like, and a little more deeper to go into it. So I wanted to see how it's gonna look when it's just all full, all grown. And if I don't like something, I can go ahead and just kind of change it. Just take the chainsaw, cut it down, plant something else, and all that. So once I finish one corner, I wanted to do the next corner. And then one thing that I noticed as I was building this, and it wasn't at this particular moment, it was a little later on, I noticed that by not having the 1 square more that is to close the fence on the other side, I was off by 1 square when it came to design. So I had like this extra spot on this side that I'm working on right now, because on the other side it's kind of like little, it's kind of a little hard to explain, but I noticed like just one side's a little bigger, one side's the other one. So I kind of, in those empty spots, I just went ahead and kind of duplicate a little bit of the middle, and then just kind of fill it in for what felt right. But when you're building your build, and if you ended up doing it perfect and everything's reaching to the corners the way in a specific other type of build, then you can kind of mimic what you do on one side, mimic it on the other one. And at the same time, you can be creative and approach it in different ways. You can have it all completely random. You can have both sides being in a different way. The one thing that I've been noticing as I'm trying to get better when it comes to laying out gardens and tree lines and all that, there's some height, there's a difference, there's different levels, things that compromise one another when they're next to each other, and like how a bush is filling in the space and how the other one is leaning towards the other one, and then complementing different type of trees with one another. And the spacing, it seems like spacing is very key when you look at landscaping. When you're researching landscaping in gardens, in hotels and resorts and just anything like that, you can tell that layering and spacing is so important. So instead of having 2-3 palm trees so close together, unless that's part of your design, because I've seen stuff like that, a lot of them, they got like this spacing, like you got a tree and then you got something in between that, and then you got another tree, and then you got something in between that and another tree. And then in a lot of them that I noticed, you don't have a tree in front and then another tree in front of the other one, because it kind of blocks the other one behind it, unless you're building something on purpose that's like that. So the more research that I've been doing, the more in the design aspect of landscaping, that is something that I do want to improve so we can make better landscape in Dinkum. I noticed those in pictures. It's just, there's something about it. There's something about the way everything is layered, the way everything is spaced out. So this is one of my first attempts to be better, to get a better spacing between trees, between the bushes, and then in all in the middle, if you don't have grass, or if you want grass and let the grass grow a little bit higher, just a little more wild, or in all that space in between, then you're kind of pick and choosing which flower, which bush, what colors, what you want, and not too much of the same, but some things are clustered. So it's fun. It's been fun researching landscaping lately and just trying to visualize and trying to improve when it comes to the landscaping. And I think the more I've been learning when it comes to landscaping in the real world, that the more I think that's going to benefit when we keep working in Dinkum, when we keep making these gardens or foliage or just anything like that. And I think it's going to be beneficial, and I'm hoping as you see in the video, as the palm trees keep growing and all that, I think at the end it does have a good look. It feels full, but not too full, because then you can see in between everything. And I think that's the approach that I want. I wanted to be able to see in between all the palm trees and the foliage, but at the same time it feels like it is hidden. So it's fun. It's just been a fun experience to approach that in that particular way. Okay, so now we're in the back. So back here, the goal is to make the next set of stairs. So I was trying to decide how close did I want these stairs to come down. I was thinking I can make them very close, kind of like I did on the other corner, and come into the build and just come down and then lead to the entrance. But at the end, what I decided was I'm gonna make a little bit of greenery right here in the very end. That way we have like the fence, a little bit of greenery leading to the entrance of the back entrance, and then we're gonna leave a space, and then from after that space we're gonna start working on our stairs. But I needed to see how I want this situation to kind of match. So when you saw me here, I was looking at that palm tree, I was looking at the other end, and I kind of wanted to match him a little bit. That way when you're looking at it, there's some purpose behind it, and it just kind of match, and just kind of matching, you know, front and back. Okay, so now we're gonna clear this out. There's a lot to clear out that we need to do here. So first thing we're gonna take is all the palm trees out. Just take all of that out of the way. We're gonna level this field, and as we leveling that, like always, so thankful that we're gonna gather all these resources that we keep using in the coastal town, because it's all stuff that we're using. And then we're gonna work on the stairs. So in the stairs, I've been going with the cement right now. It felt right. I haven't gone with any of the wood ones. I haven't gone with the palm wood. It feels like the cement stairs. They look like stones. I kind of like the idea. I think it feels great. And it leading from the stairs all the way to the entrance with the cement path, it just worked out really great. So here we are also doing the same thing that we did on the other side. So you're gonna see me, but this is the moment that I realized, by not having the one more square on the end, I was a little off. So I was already looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, the inside looks right, but the outside I'm gonna be a little bit off. And and that's when I was like, oh man, I need to figure something out. So basically what I did in the front, I'm doing it in the back. I'm filling that extra spot with something that looks similar and that it works together. And once I did that, everything worked out great. So we have the system, we have the layering. I wanted to look at it from far away. I want to make sure that everything's looking great. And then the idea that I had is like, I'm gonna put the 2 cement tiles just like I did over there, because at first I had a whole different idea for the back, right? It was gonna come down from the stairs, we're gonna have the entrance, maybe a little seating area, and then it goes back up. But as I was working on this, like I mentioned a little earlier, I decided, this could be a good spot way in the back to either move my house back here, or which NPC will fit better back here. Which one I will think will enjoy having like this pool little front and all that. Now we are getting a new NPC, right? A little cafe. You can put the cafe back here with the pool area. That could be a good, you know, it could work out really well. Do I want to wait until the update comes out? Maybe I wait, or I can just move my house or put a temporary residential home for now and just put it out there. Because I think by the very end, what we managed to do, where we're gonna put the building, and we managed to do this little layer system where the building's gonna go leading down to a little deck, and that deck leads to the beach. It could be a great place, now that I think about it, for a little cafe, and that could work. Or somebody's gonna have a really nice view of the ocean back there, and I can't decide. So, you know, as you guys are watching the video and you guys are taking all of this in and just seeing the potential of this area, let me know what you think. Let me know what you will do if this was your island. If this build was in your island right now and you had this area, let me know what will be your next move. Will you move your house? Will you put just one of those extra houses that we have? Or would you actually move the cafe? Because the cafe could work, you know, community pool area. You put the cafe out there, you build a little patio seating area. On the very top, we build a little parking lot, so when people come in through the road, they park their vehicle, they take down the stairs, they get in the cafe, they order their stuff, they can eat on the side, and there's also the community pool. And actually that could work like as a whole build at the very end. You know, this corner of the town could be surrounding that new building, that new NPC. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I'm curious to see what you guys are gonna vote, and I just want to hear your feedback, because that's gonna truly help me, like it always does in every video, in every build. Your feedbacks are always making my mind work big time. Okay, so here I'm laying down that the reason I'm doing this right here, because I'm kind of marking that little parking lot. So if you be following the channel, you be following the videos. If you follow the volleyball court video that I did a little parking lot, right? Perfect for the motorbike. We're gonna build a little it's gonna be almost identical to that little parking lot. We can fit the motorbikes. The middle, there's gonna be a square that you can land your helicopter if you come by helicopter. And I think it's gonna be perfect for right here, because we got a normal road on the back that's leading from the cul-de-sac, and we may fix a little bit of that eventually, but I think a little parking lot right here that people can park, and then they can take the stairs, walk the boardwalk, all of that. So I was marking that. So I wanted to know where was gonna beginning and where was gonna end, so I can mark it. So then I can start deciding how far do I want to go with the house, how much am I gonna take out. And that's something that soon in the video we're gonna be working on. So as the idea is floating in my mind, you see my character just walking back, looking up, walking back, looking up. And basically I'm trying to imagine how this will work. Because originally all I was gonna do is just work on the pool. But as the pool idea was working on, these other ideas started happening. And you know how it is, you get the idea, you get the inspiration, and you can't stop. You can't stop designing, you can't stop building. And that's one of the things about Dinkum, it's addictive. And the next thing you know, time went by. And instead of working on one thing, you're expanding to the other, and now you're working on 2 projects at the same time. And that's basically what happened here. For some reason, my mind went crazy on this new idea, and I kind of forgot about the pool. The pool now is just sitting on the side for a moment, and we'll get back to it. We're definitely gonna get back to the pool, because I realized like, hey, I need to keep working on the pool. But the idea just kept flowing for this house or building or anything like that I wanted to do. So at first I was like, okay, the initial idea, I was like, okay, let me level everything down and make it flat. And we're gonna see that slowly start changing. It was too flat, especially after visiting some of the you guys islands, doing the tours and all of that. I noticed that I need a little bit more elevation, just to elevate the levels of the dirt just 1 tier or maybe 2, just to give it a little bit more walk, more feel to it. And it's something that I'm trying to improve. So in this particular area, it felt right to do that. It felt that I could just elevate and just have places that are a little higher, and then coming down and then bringing back down to the beach level. And I think it worked out great. I feel like it looks good. It had that feel to it, and it worked out great. So right here, I'm just marking, I'm just trying to decide how wide I want the front of the house or the building to be. So I started laying down my idea. One of the things, especially in the coastal town, one of the ways that I've been doing the fence is having the hedges a little bit buried, because I love the palm wood gate as a fence. So I've been doing the palm wood gate as a fence, so, and I can have the hedges at the same level. So if you're watching for the first time and you're somebody new, and you're wondering why is he burying the hedges, it's because since they're the palm wood gate I'm using, they're not the fence, they're the actual gate. So when you put the hedges and you put the gates together, then they attach, and then it doesn't work. Then it doesn't work as a fence. And I like to have a little height level, just one higher and one lower than the other one. Once I put them together, they're both kind of the same height. So I like that little high level difference. It's just more aesthetic, it's more visually pleasing to the eye, and that was my approach. So if you're new and you're wondering why, especially, it's because I'm using the palm wood gates. They look great as a fence as long as you don't have anything attached. So if you never seen that, that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm trying now. Right here, I was thinking, okay, if I don't want to keep extending. I kind of want the walkway from the stairs coming to the pool, but I want to have an end, and I want the property of this area, if it's gonna be for a house or for the cafe or for one of the other NPC building, I want this whole corner now to be dedicated for that. So I was trying to kind of do the property line, right? So I was kind of marking where's the end and where's the beginning. So, and that's why I did the hedges. After the hedges, back there, it's kind of like if it's somebody else's property, it's somebody else's land. And that's why I approach it this way. So here is, after I took everything down and flattened it out, this is when I started visualizing, and I was like, what if I make this like the building is sitting on top of a deck, just a little bit elevated, and to give it a little more height. That way when you're looking at it, it's gonna look a little higher. I didn't want it like in my second tier, what I call my second tier or a third tier. I just want it just a little bit higher, and maybe we can have some steps that's gonna come up and then we can plant the building right there. So I just filled it up a little bit because I wanted to see what I was gonna feel as I keep looking at it. So then I had another thought. Okay, then I want a little patio, and then since this is very close to the pool area, then I wanted the patio not to be a deck now. I wanted the patio to be no cement, because the cement will look more like a big sidewalk thing. So I decided to match it with the pool rim area, and I think this is starting to look really good. Now my area, my vision slowly that's in my head, that this particular corner right here that we're working on, I didn't put it down on paper. This just is inspiration, and we're working on the spot in the video. So I'm doing a lot of trial and error. That's why you see the character kind of slows down quite a bit, because I keep thinking, what do I want, what do I don't want, what looks good, and all that. So one of the big changes that's gonna happen is that I made the patio tree, but then I bring in the festive lights, and they don't fall. So instead of, and it's a good thing that I tried it early, because it's something that I need to keep improving when you're working with the festive light, is that you need to place them and then work around them. Because if you do the whole area, if you do the whole build, and then you're gonna add the festive lights, sometimes they don't fall. And this is something that we're gonna see here very soon. They didn't fall, they were not gonna work the way that I wanted to work. So instead of being the little stone patio, instead of being 3 wide, ended up being 4 wide. So then the festive light can land. Okay, so now out here, you know me, you guys been hearing it. If you're new, I base a lot of my builds on real life pictures that I'm watching, that I'm looking, research that I do, and then I try to get inspiration from real life and putting it into Dinkum, into the best way that I can. That way it has this feel of realism, feel of natural things, the way they grow, or the way people would do it in real life. So I was looking at these pictures of this awesome resort, and out there in the outline, all around the pool area next to the beach, this pool area was surrounded by the same thing that I did in the front, but all around there. So in different corners, and then there were like these empty gaps that gives people the view to look into the ocean, to look into the water, to see the beach, but at the same time it's surrounded, especially in the corners. So I only have this corner back here and a little bit of the front, because the back is not, we're gonna have a whole different thing in the very back of the end pool. So I wanted to make this corner feel a little bit more full, with more of the coconut palm trees that curved in. Instead of using the one that are straight, I wanted to use more of this one, because it feels a little more natural when I was looking at the pictures. And since I'm kind of mimicking that, so I wanted to have this spacing, I wanted to have this view in this corner that feels kind of full. And I do feel once we get closer to the end of the video, we're gonna see things more grown, and I do feel like it's starting to feel and that I'm getting better when it comes to the landscaping. Okay, so here we are. I still haven't hit that moment, but you see that I'm already planting. I'm already planting the bushes that I want, the spacing that I want. I'm kind of working in this situation, and then I was like, okay, now let me put the lights, and here's the problem. And this is why. This is one of my other tips. This is something I myself am trying to get better. We always gotta, if you're planning to use the festive lights, we need to kind of work on that first, place them a little bit ahead of time, and to see if we can make it work. Because if I left this part, that a lot of the times I use it. The festive lights, sometimes I think of them as decorating item, not as a design thing, and you can wait to the very last minute. And if you did a lot, you may sacrifice using the lights, because there's so much that you will have to do. Since I got to test them early, because I remember I was able to fix the problem and not have to either not do them or do them, and not have to change too much. So what we did, like you saw, we went ahead and made the stone patio 4 wide. Now, as I'm working on this and visualizing what I want, I decided that I wanted to have a little bit more height in this little area. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna raise the stone, we're gonna raise it one level, and then where the house or the building that we want is gonna be raised into another one. And then we're gonna have a stairs coming in down to the stone patio, and then stairs again leading to the beach. And then it's gonna have this flow, it's gonna have this movement, and I feel like it works. Instead of just everything being completely flat, we're gonna have a little bit of height in this little corner. And it's something that I've been noticing that a lot of you are doing in your islands, and I've been liking it. I like that little bit of height in different specific areas. So it's something that I do want to improve, but at the same time, in a lot of coastal towns, it's very flat because, you know, we're at the end of the ocean. It's kind of flat, so we want to make, and I don't want to make everything just wobbly or just a lot of levels. But in this corner, I felt like it'd be kind of cool because it's kind of like everything's sitting on a deck. We got a stone patio, maybe because we're so close to the ocean, people are protecting their investment, they're protecting their buildings, their homes, whichever way we want to approach that corner, that's why. So if you see how everything's growing and you see the palm trees and all that, it just, for me, and I'm gonna see what you guys will type in the comments, but it does feel a little bit more natural. It's just the spacing. I like the spacing, and it could be because I'm imitating real life. It's something that is starting to look good. It doesn't feel too full or too crowded. There's something about it. Or it could be just the way the palm trees are and the way they're curving, and you don't know how they're gonna curve, and it gives you that natural feel that it's just, that's how they grew, and maybe that's what makes me happy when I look at them. It just looks right. Okay, so here's what I mentioned before. We're gonna raise this right here, and then I was gonna put the stairs, and I was like, oh no, wait, I can't put anything underneath the light. So what we end up doing is I put the stairs, I'm gonna mark them, and then the lights are also gonna be raised one level higher, so they're gonna fall. So now we got this little extension, and because that extension, I was like, what about if I raised then also the building? And then slowly this build started just evolving. It kept evolving, it kept getting better. The inspiration hits, you get excited, you feel like everything is working together, and it's now we got this little stone patio that looks really good, fits great, and it just has this great feeling that I like. And I actually like the way it's coming out. I like the way it looks. We're putting the hedges is kind of like the fence line, and it just breaks the green, and the green against the sand looks really good. I feel like it just gives it that look, that touch, that it just works. It seems like slowly now everything's working together. So here I put 2 more steps because I wanted to get the right height, and now we're gonna fill this in, and then slowly this area we're gonna start tweaking it. We're gonna take more of the stuff back in on the back side. We're gonna just keep breaking that out so we can get a better view on where we're gonna place our building. And for the look of the deck, I think I decided to go with the palm wood because it's gonna keep matching the look that I'm going with the coastal town at the moment. And I have the gates also that are the palm wood, and we're gonna see, especially once I decide what's the building or house, NPC, which route are we gonna go. Once I decide on that, then we can also change it. We can make it concrete. You know, when I moved in Franklin to the coastal town, I went with one direction, had to move the house again, and we went with natural dirt because it just looked better with Franklin. So you never know what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, what's gonna be better when it comes to putting the building on top of what tile, what works best. Dirt could work best, sand could work best, you know, but once we get this layout right here, we are definitely, and we ended up using the palm wood for now, and we're gonna close that out. So what I was trying to do here is just finishing this. I knew I wanted to have a view of the ocean from right here, from this little stone patio area. Whatever chairs we decide to put there, whatever seating, whatever aesthetic decorations we want to do, I knew once you sit, I want to have a view of that ocean that you see back there. So that was a must. And I knew I wanted palm trees, but I don't want the palm trees to fall the same way in the very front. So I put it more to the edges of the stone patio, more on the outside. That way you can have that clear view. So all we're gonna put some bushes, we may put some fern, and just fill the gap in the middle, but nothing that's gonna block the view, because look at that view, just the ocean. And then imagine once we get the sailboat, and we can just leave a sailboat just floating somewhere in there, just for view, like if somebody's out there fishing or anything like that, you know, we're gonna be able to place them, just leave them there, and just to look at. It's just part of the aesthetic, part of the decoration. You know, we're creating a story, we're creating something when we're building these towns, these areas in the Dinkum world, you know, and it's exciting to think about that. Okay, so slowly we're getting things together, right? Now we're getting, we got the bushes, we got the property line, we're getting the palm trees, everything is looking good, we got the right height. Now I decided, well, let me add some of this tropical grass in these little areas here, just to get a feel of the area, how everything's feeling, how everything is going. Then I noticed right here, this little entrance, I needed to work on it. I wanted to make it, instead of one, I decided to go with a two-stair entry white leading to the top. So then I needed to finish clear this out. I needed to expand this so it looks better. So then the palm tree, we're gonna take it out, we're gonna move it to 1 square in the back, because now since everything is elevated to another level, so that's where the building is gonna be, or house. So by doing that, now we got this, we got the hedge that's a little lower, now we got the palm wood gate, and then we have something that we're gonna do there that is gonna be like a little garden, little greenery in front of the building. I don't know what to do yet next to the palm tree, so we'll decide what to do that once we get there to that point. It won't be on this video, that's gonna be probably on the next one, when we start working more in details of decorating, of the item placements that we want to use, and how we're gonna keep approaching now this area, because the area became all the way from the pool, now it became a whole build area. Everything is connected, everything is working together, and this corner is just one big build now. So we got the top that it should be the parking lot, and that parking lot, and I think that eventually I'm gonna make some of the tin fence, because and take the palm wood gate and add the tin fence just like I did on the volleyball court parking area, because I think that fence really works well with the parking lot, and I feel like then it's gonna give more value to the palm wood fence that we have on the bottom, that's gonna be in front of the building or house that we decide to put there. So now we're just taking it in. You saw my character standing there. Sometimes, like I always say, step back, look into your build, see what you see what it feels like, and see what you want to do. See if what you're seeing looks good and all that. When I step back, it looked kind of weird that I didn't have more fence on one side, so I went ahead and added 2 more on the other side. Now we got kind of like an official entryway, and then we just keep looking at it. I like how the stairs looks from the side coming into this area. I like the way everything is looking from back here, from this point of view. So if you're walking this way, and now we're checking all the heights, how everything looks from this direction, that direction, this level, that level. If I want to see if something feels weird, something feels off, and right now everything is just working great. So now I wanted to see what it looked like with the palm wood, and that's how we kind of will leave it for now. We'll come in on the next video the following day once I start working. And usually a lot of times you need that sleep time, you need that separation from one day to the other to start making your final calls, because when you're working on builds like this and you put hours into it, you need a break, because when you come back the following day, you may see things a little bit different, and you'll be like, you know what, I thought last night this worked great, but in reality it doesn't work that great, it doesn't look that good. And then you may tweak it, and that has happened to me. I finished one part of the build, come back the next day, and then I realized, you know what, it needs to be bigger, it needs to be wider, I need more space. And also you got more energy. Sometimes when you already work 2, 3, 4 hours into a build, your brain will get tired. Your emotion, your reaction, the way you see things, you get tired. And my recommendation will be take a break, take a breather, slow down, come back, take a break, come back the following day, do something else, do a little quest, do some item gathering, and then come back to it and look at it with a fresh of eyes, with a fresh spirit, and see how it feels. See what you see and see if you still like it. And right here, right now, we're doing the final walk. I'm seeing everything, how everything's coming, all the layering, all the levels, the way everything is divided, the entryways. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, and everything is working well. And you see how all the palm trees are growing in the very front and on the side, but it's not blocking the view, but it's just good, and it's just, you can kind of see through them. But then if we get a good shot in the front, you're gonna see like all the bushes are growing and everything kind of feels like it's a little full as a garden, but the palm trees are so tall that it's just, I don't know, it looks nice. And I'm liking how everything is coming out. I feel like this area is exactly what I envisioned, especially the pool side. Now extending this build this way and maybe adding a home, NPC, maybe the new cafe building when it comes in the update. Any of that right here is gonna look really good. Is what's gonna work best, which NPC is gonna be better, or my own home back here. Don't know yet. We'll see what happens when we come back on the next video, once we start doing a lot of the item placement and make this area feel alive, feel that it's busy, that people come here, that people come swimming, that people come here to relax. But here we are, and this area is slowly becoming one of my favorites now. I do like how all this feels, and it's working great. And with the ocean, you see that little corner right there, just the ocean view is nice. So guys, we made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and we'll see you next time. Alright, see you later. Bye.